Greg McElroy to talk all things Week 8. And, Greg, I want to start with Georgia. They go to Texas, massive game. How do they get out of there without suffering their second loss of the season?
Well, their quarterback, Carson Beck, has had some moments this year, but the moments have been a little bit few and far between, Matt. And you look at kind of how he's played in the biggest possible stage a couple weeks back against Alabama, really sloppy start. But there was nobody else in college football that could throw their way back into the game the way he did in the fourth quarter of that football game. Now, I want to see it from start to finish because I think the protection is paramount. When you look at Texas, they're excellent rushing the passer. Their edge rushers have gotten much better from a year ago. So the protection's got to be great, but this secondary for Texas is a little bit unchallenged. So this will be by far the best group of wide receivers and weapons and the best quarterback they've seen up to this point. So will Texas be up to the challenge? Because last year, that was their Achilles heel.
That's right. And you wonder if these newly found weapons Georgia's finally comfortable with. Dillon Bell, Aaron Smith a week ago, they looked really, really good in the closing stretch. We'll see if that manifests itself on the road this weekend. You'll be on the call. Alabama, Tennessee, and Knoxville. Both teams already have a loss. Both teams have struggled the last couple of weeks. What's going on and what's the key for each of these teams to avoid getting that second loss, much like Georgia?
Well, you look at both teams, and they're both really close. So I know that the close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. I get that. But if you look at Tennessee, they are this close, really, from breaking a big run. It's really their whole offense is going to go through Dylan Sampson. He's a big-time and explosive running back. He's been great all season long. Now they got to get that run game going, take the pressure off Nico Iamaleava, and let Nico find some open targets downfield, because the more those safeties are sniffing around trying to stop the run, the more his wide receivers might be on one-on-ones on the outside. And you look at Alabama, they absolutely 100% have to be very, very good tackling at the second and third levels against Tennessee. If you look at the defensive plan that has been utilized the last few weeks against the Volunteers, Oklahoma used it, Arkansas used it, and we saw it a little bit last week from Florida. Those safeties were asked to do an awful lot in the run game. They were asked to tackle a lot in the open field, and they're going to have to do that again this week. So I think Alabama's got to really do a great job with their linebackers and safeties tackling Dylan Sampson, and Tennessee's got to make sure that Dylan Sampson has plenty of one-on-one looks against those guys in the open field so he can make them miss.
A bit puzzling how they struggled the last couple of weeks in what could be a playoff elimination game. Week 8, plenty of suspense. Greg McElroy, thank you.